Hey, and welcome back once again. Just here to talk about the first corals that I had and where they are. But first I should mention that actually not maybe, but definitely you should quarantine everything. Quarantine your corals, your inverts, and your fish, preferably in separate tanks. So this bubble coral and that whipped gorgonian there were one of the first two corals that we got. The bubble coral was actually, this is a small piece off of one that we ended up fragging this off of. The other one, we're not sure what happened to it. It died, and while it was in the process of necrotizing, we managed to salvage this off. That was almost 3.5 years ago, 3 years ago. So this one's, it's doing very well. As you can see, it's actually attached to the rock at the base. And that whipped gorgonian's doing pretty good as well. I could recommend those. There's some leathers that we got. There was this leather, this acan we got. This acan started out as, oh heck, I think it was 4 heads. It started out as four polyps, and they were not even retracted when they came out of the store. I did have a flower pot, however, and it was doing really well until one of the fish started eating it. It was a blue spot puffer that started eating it. So there's that, those 2 hammerheads there we got when we started, and there's in the back, you can see under that assessor fish is another whipped gorgonian. That started out as a piece maybe a 1/2 inch long, so about 1.5 centimeters long. We got this devil's hand started. We had a toadstool very similar to this one that the fangtooth blennies used to hang out in and curl up in. It went the wayside. I think it was when I was learning about calcium and such. There's a green leather in the back there that's just starting to open. We had 2 of those, and it took them 2.5 years before they even did anything. This one, actually, it changed the color, became a much more vibrant green, and then it started to have polyps that opened up. The other one just shriveled up, and that was it. After 2.5 years, we didn't really see a lot of it. So these zoanthids we've had for quite a while. And a couple more that were, the first 2 were these pink zoanthids, and then these green paleozoas there. And those were some of the first. These are actually frags off of the first ones that we got. Already talked about the acan, and I guess now they're called a micromusa. And the hammerheads, we had the 2 hammerheads. Kenya trees, I had Kenya trees like you wouldn't believe. The guy in the shop said, "Oh, you won't like these, they'll grow, it'll be like weeds, you don't like these things." And so we got them, and he was right. They did grow like crazy in the tank. Then all of a sudden we couldn't keep them. They just wouldn't grow, they wouldn't thrive or survive. Other things started living and they wouldn't, including the pulsing xenia. I haven't been able to keep any pulsing xenia at all. The green star polyp is one that we've had for a long time. That's been around, and we fragged that a few times. There's a green frog spawn in the back there that we got originally, as well as this toxic green Kenya tree. Is it toxic green or is that kryptonite? I always get them mixed up. And I've had several Montipora that just, for some reason I couldn't keep the Montipora. I think it had to do with the urchin at the time, kept carrying them around, flipping them over, and they just had a hard time surviving. This one Blastomusa, I got this, and it started out actually as a freebie with some corals we got from back east, an outfit out of Toronto. And it started as 1 polyp. That was about 2.5 years ago. So I could certainly recommend those. As far as the second leather there, that one's goners. These green star polyps are good, and these are okay. They're not all that colorful. The zoanthids are very colorful, and they seem to do well as long as your water parameters are consistent. Stable and consistent may be kind of the same thing. as long as the parameters are consistent is the important thing. So anyhow, once again, quarantine all your fish, quarantine your corals and your inverts, and hope you found this helpful and useful. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye.